We're gathered here today in the room, also online. So there is a sadness. There's a sadness. There's a with Shambra. There's a sadness and a wondering, what's happening? What's going to happen next? And it's very easy, by the way, at times like this to get distracted by the latest product, program, or person, by gurus, by crystals, by some new ointment that's going to clear everything up. And it's not. And it's not. And, I say this all the time, that everything you need, you already have. Everything. You don't need anything else. It's good to talk to others once in a while, yes. But there's not some cure-all thing. It's not taking any sort of medication, drugs, legal or illegal, or anything else. You already have it within yourself. But there's so much pressure right now. It's very easy to get distracted. You've seen it with others who have sat in these chairs before. Not that they need to sit here, but suddenly there's the new guru in town. Suddenly there's a new product. Suddenly there's a new, what is this drug you take to go off on these psychedelic spiritual journeys? He's smiling over there. And so it's very easy to get distracted and try the newest, greatest thing, particularly when you get sad, particularly when you're wondering what is happening in the world right now. It's crazy. It is very crazy out there. But to my point, that actually, looking at it energetically, people are more satisfied with the perception of themselves than they are with the world around them. People are very judgmental of themselves, but at least they know where the weaknesses are. They know generally what their strengths are. They know kind of where they are. There's a lot of confusion about it as well, but generally they feel better in their local linear environment. I'm not saying they feel great about themselves. I'm not saying that people are, really feeling happy within, because happiness level, is a funny thing to measure, but there's probably less happiness in the world right now, people with themselves, less happiness than there was 30 years ago, 50 years ago. In a interesting way, so many people are lost right now. So many of the people, you in particular, have a pretty good life. You have cars, computers, houses, things like that. A lot of people don't. You generally have a pretty good life, and you're like, well, but what should I be doing? Where should I go? What's next? And for Shambra, it's intensified. But people in general, they get to a certain point of the material needs in their life being taken care of, and they get bored, distraught, even sad. Yeah. But generally, people feel better about their local linear environment, themselves, their immediate surroundings, because they know kind of what's going to happen the next day. It's like I've said so often, predicting the future is very, very easy to do. Tomorrow is going to be pretty much like yesterday for most people. And they're happy with that. They're really happy with that until they start awakening. And then it's hell. They are not very comfortable. They do not have a good overall perception about the world. If you ask a person how their life is going to be in 5 years or 10 years, not just Shambra, but anybody, I'm going to rate it at about a 5.5 to maybe 6. If I say to them, where are you going to be in 10 years? Well, I'm going to have learned a little bit more. I'll be making a little bit more money at my job. I'll have maybe a few more friends. I'll have a new car. I've been wanting to get one for a while. You see, they kind of project out. Not big. Not big things. A little bit more money. When you ask somebody, how much more do you think you're going to be making in 10 years than you are right now? Average answer, when I when I do this or I feel it. Average answer, about 20 to 22% more. That's kind of sad. You know, that's really sad. That's what they're living for. But at least it's going in an uphill direction. When the question comes to people about their perception of the world, where is the world going to be in 10 years, 20 years? It's scary what people think. It's really scary. Answers range from, I can't even imagine out 10 years, much less 5 years. I don't know. World's at some sort of weird tipping point. When you ask them about the world in 10 years, what it's going to be like, the majority, not all, but the majority of people say that they're going to be living in very protective environments, created emotionally or physically. In other words, they're going to withdraw into their smaller worlds because the world out there is getting scarier. The world out there is filled with a lot of fear right now. And most people, when you ask them about humanity in 10 years, it almost makes them nauseous because they're seeing what's happening right now.